Well, we're living in a much more complex world, and so the role of the teacher is changing. I see the teacher still remaining as somebody who has a key role in the classroom in terms of subject knowledge, but they also have to be able to be adaptable, resilient, understanding the context of their own classroom, their school and their community. So there is a blend of competences that are required of our teachers. In order for teachers to think about their pedagogy, it really needs that sense of understanding the learning process, because as they are imparting knowledge about subject, it's understanding that their teaching role requires them being more than the knowledgeable expert in the room, but it's understanding what is the impact of what I am teaching on the learning of pupils. And that's where formative assessment plays such an important role, because that formative assessment can give the teacher a much better understanding of the individual learning of their pupils. And getting that feedback is helpful for the pupils' learning, but it's also essential for the teacher in terms of them planning. So they're not just planning how they're going to teach a knowledge segment, they're thinking about what is the impact of that on pupils and how do I need to modify what I do in order to make it meaningful for my learners. So the sense of formative assessment being helpful for pupils is one thing, but actually it's really essential for teachers planning. So that sense of what are the aims of what I want to do, how does it help me plan my teaching as well as the learning of my pupils, and how does it actually help me think about the implementation so it's much more meaningful for the individuals in the classroom.
Well, for the learners, there have been some literature reviews that are sort of meta reviews of evidence-based small-scale studies that have found that the practices associated with formative assessment are much more effective, that student learning outcomes are much higher and the retention is better, and that achievement for students considered as lower achieving is much better. So it helps those students in particular. There's also some critique that, these studies give us a good idea that formative assessment is an important method to use. But the caveat here is that it's not that easy to do right away. You need to build your practice over time. Doing it at a large scale across a country is challenging.